Hey everybody, welcome to the Postmodern Farmer episode 1 of the Cud. So what the Cud is a miraculously sporadic weekly video podcast vlog, some sort of update. It's a vlog, it's a video blog, because I'm supposed to write blog articles for the PMF and I'm just not a writer, guys. So I weaseled my way into just making videos. My name is Cody Creelman. I am a veterinarian, managing partner of a very large beef cattle practice. I work with nothing but cow-calf and feedlots. I also do daily vlogging. I have this video page on YouTube and I have a video page on Facebook, Cody Creelman Cow Vet, where I do vlogs following my daily life. I'm also very active on social media, Instagram, Twitter. What else is there? Okay, so the Cud is just gonna be news and views, updates on the beef cattle industry. I know nothing outside of the world of beef cows, veterinary medicine, and social media. Those are the only things I know anything about. So in this episode, I am going to be talking about antimicrobial resistance real quick. There is a Canadian, oh yeah, did I mention I'm from Canada? There's a Canadian beef cattle industry conference coming up in a couple of days, and my topic is on antimicrobial resistance and my perspective as a beef cattle veterinarian. Briefly, this is how I feel about antimicrobial resistance. First off, we got the cow-calf industry and we got the feedlot industry, and they don't really know what each other's doing. These guys think that these guys are after them, these guys think that these guys are after them, these guys think that these guys are lazy, these guys think that these guys are money hungry. It's just, oh my goodness. So antibiotics are prescribed and used both in a prudent and a non-prudent manner in both situations. Typically the cow-calf guy doesn't have a consulting veterinarian or herd health protocols, so they get their hands on antibiotics and they use them most of the time fairly judiciously. There's not a lot of disease that happens on the cow-calf side, so it's not a big problem, but it might be a big problem one day when we have cow-calf guys using things like macrolides. An example would be Draxxin or Mycotil, something like that, and they're using it in, say, at branding because they're using it in every calf to prevent pasture pneumonia, which probably isn't that big of a deal. And then on the feedlot side, we have all these feedlots that are feeding these calves coming in that are immunocompromised, they're fresh weaned, they're shrunk out, dehydrated, not responding well to the vaccines that they're getting because of all of these things. So we rely on antibiotics in terms of metaphylaxis or giving antibiotics to healthy animals to prevent them getting sick in the not so distant future. This acts as a band-aid or a crutch for that first 7 to 10 days. Those calves get over that stressful event. Then that allows their immune system to be working. They've been vaccinated on arrival, and typically those calves stay pretty healthy throughout the feeding period. So that's what I'm talking about in terms of resistance. So we really don't know as an industry what the deal is with resistance. We know that when you use an antibiotic, it can select for resistance. It does not cause mutation. It selects for bacteria that have resistance. But what happens when there is resistance? So if there's a bacteria and using an antibiotic, there's a chance that there's a mutant population already within the normal population that then you select for. And then that animal can transmit the plasmid or the DNA packet. The bacteria can transmit that DNA packet that has that gene to other bacteria, human bacteria, other animal bacteria. All of that is possible. All of that is proven to some extent, but we really don't know what exactly is going on in the beef industry. We don't really know what is going on in terms of the entire implications of all of this. So let's say you get a steak and it has some E. coli on it. A lot of steak has E. coli on it. Say it has a plasmid or a gene for that resistance. What happens? Are you at risk at home as a consumer? No, you're not at risk. You're at a tiny little bit of risk. So what happens? You have E. coli. Say you have E. coli. Say it has a resistant gene. You take that steak home. What's gonna happen? Are you at immediate danger? No, you're not. Because what happens to a piece of bacteria when it's cooked? What happens to that resistant gene? It gets cooked. It dies. End of story. End of the trail. That's all there is. You eat it, you digest it. It's only if you have improper cooking or improper handling techniques, and then you can get contamination. And sure, cases like that happen, and there is cases of animal agriculture induced multi-drug resistant bacteria infecting a human. That's quite rare. And then what about of all of the other things that have been proven in theory, at least on some sort of, from some sort of perspective of there's resistance in the dust that's from the feedlot floors, and that can be tracked down for miles and 1,000 miles past the feedlot? Or what about bacteria in sewage water from the livestock effluent from the feedlot runoff? What effect does it have? That is the answer. We really don't know what effect. So just because there's a measurable difference or a measurable effect in anything to do with science, it does not mean that it's biologically significant, that it really is a problem. Yes, be prudent in terms of our antimicrobial usage, both in the cow-calf and the feedlot side, but we really need to fully understand the greater picture before we can make snap decisions on our antibiotic usage. Just because we think something is not proper, we think that we may be causing an issue because we can find resistant genes, doesn't mean that it's an actual issue. Okay. I don't know how to end this. How am I supposed to end this thing? That's it.